HealthMusk.com presents dangerous foods you should avoid to eat. Almonds. There are two variations of almonds, sweet almonds and bitter almonds. The bitter ones supposedly contain relatively large amounts of hydrogen cyanide. It is said that even eating just 7 to 10 raw bitter almonds can cause problems for adults, and could be fatal for children. Stems and leaves of tomatoes. The stems and leaves of tomatoes contain alkali poisons that can cause stomach agitation. Unripe green tomatoes have been said to have the same effect. You would need to consume vast quantities for it to be fatal. Not exactly high risk, but you might avoid eating tomato leaves. Agave nectar. In the health food aisle at the supermarket, you will definitely find some sugar-free products that are sweetened with agave. This sweetener is touted as a healthy alternative to sugar because it is natural, has a low glycemic index. But the harmful effects of sugar have little to do with its glycemic index. It is harmful primarily because it is loaded with unnatural amounts of fructose. Too much fructose in the diet can cause all sorts of problems, especially in people who do not exercise much. All fructose is metabolized by the liver. If the liver is full of glycogen, the fructose will be turned into fat. This can cause non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and all kinds of metabolic problems like resistance to the hormones insulin and leptin, which will ultimately lead to obesity and diabetes. While regular sugar is 50% fructose, the fructose content of agave is as high as 90%. If anything, agave is even worse than sugar. Granola. It sounds healthy, but it is often high in fat, sugar and calories. Do not be fooled by a seemingly reasonable calorie count. Portion sizes are usually a skimpy 1/4 or half cup. Low-fat versions often just swap sugar for fat and pack as many calories as regular versions. Read granola labels carefully and stick with recommended portion sizes, which are teeny, perhaps as a topping on fruit or yogurt. Sports drinks. They were designed for athletes who have just finished an intense training session with massive sweating and glycogen depletion. For this reason, sports drinks contain these three: water, to replenish lost fluid; electrolytes, to replenish electrolytes like sodium that were lost via sweat; sugar, because athletes need energy after an intense workout. You do not need any additional electrolytes unless you have been doing a very intense workout, and most people are already eating too much sugar. One bottle of Gatorade contains over 30 grams of sugar. You are better off sticking to plain water, which you should certainly drink plenty of, especially around workouts. Energy bars. These bars usually contain protein and fiber, nutrients that help you feel full, but also may be loaded with calories. That is fine if you occasionally make one a meal, but most of us eat them as snacks. You might as well enjoy a Snickers, which at 280 calories is in the same range as many energy bars. If you need something to tide you over until dinner, look for a calorie-controlled bar with about 5 grams of protein, for example, Balance 100 calorie bar, Promax 70 calorie bar. Yogurt. It is a great way to meet your calcium needs, but their ingredients can differ. Some premium whole milk yogurts can give you a hefty dose of saturated fat. Many low-fat versions of these products are every bit as creamy. Enjoy a fruit-flavored low-fat yogurt, but understand that the fruit is really jam, for example, mostly sugar. Or opt for low-fat plain and stir in fresh fruit or other sweetener to suit your taste. You will probably use less. I will recommend a tablespoon of Vermont maple syrup. It has 52 calories. It will provide all the sweetness you need. Rhubarb. Its leaves contain oxalic acid, which causes kidney stones. It will take 11 pounds of leaves to be fatal, but much less to make you seriously ill. Raw honey. Because it does not go through the pasteurization process in which harmful toxins are killed, unpasteurized honey often contains cyanatoxin. That can lead to dizziness, weakness, excessive sweating, nausea, and vomiting that lasts for 24 hours. Typically just 1 tablespoon of concentrated cyanatoxin can cause the symptoms above. Consuming multiple tablespoons would be a bad idea. Brown sugar made with beet sugar. It was once claimed that brown sugar is healthier than white sugar because it is more natural and less processed. Both, however, are primarily made of sucrose, and so there is a very little difference between the two. In fact, brown sugar is nothing more than white sugar with molasses added to it. Light brown sugar is 3.5% molasses while dark brown sugar is 6.5% molasses. The problem gets worse though, because not all sucrose is the same. Sucrose made from cane sugar will be naturally brown, while that made from beet sugar, most of the sugar in the US is not naturally brown. To make beet sugar brown, it is first sprayed with a coating of molasses that is highly processed. If the coloration of a sugar comes off on your hands, then you can be sure that it was sprayed to create the brown color. Tuna. The danger in tuna is the mercury that the fish absorbs. Once in your body, mercury will either pass through your kidneys, or travel to your brain and supposedly drive you insane. The FDA recommends children and pregnant women do not consume tuna at all. While it is unlikely that eating a massive amount of tuna in one sitting will kill you, it is a good idea to monitor your weekly intake. Fruit juices. The fruit juices you find at the supermarket are not always what they seem. They may have small amounts of real fruit in them, but often they are little more than water, artificial flavor and sugar. But even if you are drinking real fruit juice, it is still a bad idea. Fruit juice is like fruit with most of the good stuff removed. All that is left is the sugar and a few vitamins. Orange juice, for example, contains the same amount of sugar as Coca-Cola. There's no fiber in it, no chewing resistance, and nothing to stop you from downing massive amounts of sugar in a short amount of time. Eating too much sugar is associated with all sorts of diseases. These include obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and many others. It is much better to avoid fruit juices and eat real fruits instead. Cassava. The leaves and roots of cassava are surprisingly rich in cyanide. By this point, we may as well wish cyanide were the most delicious, sumptuous substance on the planet if we had to die to enjoy a bite. There is not much in the way of flavor, though. Cassava is a tropical vegetable originally from South America, but has gained popularity in Africa, particularly for its juice, which can be fermented to produce a drink called pewori. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to our channel,